So check this out. The Democratic Party is now mocking Donald Trump in the funniest way possible over the new taco slogan. I'm sure you've all seen the acronym that stands for Trump always chickens out, and it applies to the fact that Donald Trump always backs down. He never follows through. He always chickens out, whether it be tariffs, trade deals, promises, initiatives, you name it, Donald Trump backs down. And this new slogan has really gotten under his skin. And so the Democratic Party has taken it a step further. They've now rented a taco truck and parked it outside of the Republican Party's headquarters in Washington, D.C. to mock Donald Trump. Now, I want to get into the story with you and show you a picture of the truck being parked outside. But first and foremost, I do want to give you some context that really puts into perspective how crazy this is. So, of course, this taco trade, which stands for Trump always chickens out, was coined by Financial Times columnist Robert Armstrong, but has since spread across Wall Street and the internet, mocking the president's back and forth on tariff policies. The sentiment behind the phrase is that despite levying steep tariffs against countries, specifically China and European Union nations, Trump has repeatedly pushed back deadlines, lowered tariff percentages, and backed off from initial demands. And this is why I say this story is so crazy, because there's now an entire trade on Wall Street where people are becoming significantly more wealthy surrounding Donald Trump's cowardice. Investors engage in taco trade by buying stocks at lower costs after Trump announces new tariffs or increases them, then reap the benefits when the markets rebound as he delays or backs off of them. People are mocking the president of the United States and making money off of it. And the Republicans tried to convince all of us that Donald Trump is so big, bad, scary, and respected around the world. Give me a break. And this taco trade acronym is really, as I mentioned, getting under Donald Trump's skin. As of course, when he was asked about the acronym, he hadn't heard it, according to a senior White House official who acknowledged to CNN that the president was caught off guard. And Trump has said as much at the time, saying, "I've never heard of that," before calling it the nastiest question. Quote, he thought the reporter was calling him a chicken, the official said, adding that Trump was reasonably frustrated with the phrase. Trump also vented his frustrations to his team privately following the exchange. Sources familiar with the matter said he was not only irked by the term itself, but also by his team's failure to tell him about the phrase that was gaining traction. And that leads us to what the Democratic Party did today, which is just so funny. And this is the graphic that they have outside of the truck. Trump always chickens out with him in a chicken suit. The Democrats clearly think they found a way to get under the president's skin, and I will agree. The DNC will park a taco truck near the Republican National Committee's headquarters on Capitol Hill with a graphic of Trump in a chicken suit and the quote, Trump always chickens out slogan. The truck will be there between noon and 2 p.m. on Tuesday, so at the time of recording this, it is past, but maybe they bring it back. And Ken Martin, the DNC chair, said, quote, with his idiotic trade policy, he talks a big game, caves, and then leaves working families and small businesses to deal with the fallout. Trump always chickens out. We're just bringing the tacos to match. And I actually have a photo of the taco truck that once again has been parked outside and is serving tacos for free. And you can see the image on it, the Trump in the taco suit with the acronym next to him. And this person who posted this photo said by the time they went, all the tacos were sold out, that they had gotten rid of all the tacos. The truck was so popular and liked that they were gone. Just like that. So I really think this taco truck from the Democratic Party got the eyes that they wanted. It also went incredibly viral on social media, so a lot of people have seen it. And I don't think that the taco acronym for Donald Trump is going anywhere anytime soon because he continues to live up to it. We just learned recently that the nuclear deal the United States has proposed to Iran, that the Trump administration is working on with Iran, allows them to enrich uranium. Now, this is problematic for a number of reasons. Number one, enriching uranium is crucial to getting a nuclear weapon. But also number two, and in the context of this story, the Trump administration said publicly that any deal with Iran would not allow them to enrich uranium. They said it's a non-starter. And now the deal allows them to enrich uranium. It's just quite the 180. The nuclear deal proposal the U.S. gave Iran on Saturday would allow limited low-level uranium enrichment on Iranian soil for a to-be-determined period of time, Axios has learned, contradicting public statements from top officials. White House envoy Steve Witkoff and Secretary of State Marco Rubio have said publicly that the U.S. will not allow Iran to enrich uranium and will demand the full dismantlement of Iran's nuclear facilities. But the secret proposal shows far more flexibility on both points. So the Trump administration essentially drew a red line. They said, you cannot cross this line. Iran then walked past that line, and the Trump administration just kind of throws up their hand and say, well, what are we going to do? And just to be clear on this story, which I always do like to emphasize, there was already an Iran nuclear deal. We had it. They weren't making nuclear weapons. It was negotiated by the Obama Biden administration. It had amazing specifics like this, which basically made it impossible for Iran to manufacture a nuclear weapon. And now we're back to this point in American history where they have the ability to do that. We have no deal with them. And the Trump administration is now playing catch up, saying, hey, you can't do this, you can't do this. But in reality, they're going to continue to do that. And it doesn't seem like this deal is going to be struck anytime soon. We should have just kept the original deal in the first place, not renegotiating it again. And Donald Trump is raging about this on Truth Social, this deal in particular, saying the auto pen should have stopped Iran a long time ago from enriching. Under our potential agreement, we will not allow any enrichment of uranium. So he's still doubling down on this promise, of which it seems like his administration is breaking in private, that they will actually allow Iran to enrich uranium. And I find it interesting that he's taking a shot at Biden for not stopping it when it was the Obama Biden administration who literally stopped Iran from doing that. And the final thing I want to show to you is that, Donald Trump, this TACO acronym, doesn't just apply to foreign policy. It applies here in the United States as well with economic policy when Donald Trump announced this, quote, historic trade win for the United States. Now, in reality, the historic trade win was just the fact that the tariffs that he announced against China would be paused for 90 days. And the tariff percentage that each country had on each other would be dropped down significantly. That was the historic win that Donald Trump announced, but also he just backed down off the tariffs. He does that so consistently. And this whole fiasco where he backs off of tariffs, he says, I'm not doing it anymore, is, as I mentioned, where we got this taco trade from and how investors and people on Wall Street are making so much money because Donald Trump is a coward, because he backs off of everything. And that's why the Democratic Party is mocking him with this taco truck, which I think is fantastic. So make sure to share this around with people. Let them know that the taco truck is out, and keep an eye out as well, because maybe the Democratic Party brings it back and parks it outside of the RNC for longer.